Okay, we are at the bottom of the hour. So thanks everybody for coming back for our last session of the day today, where we will wrap things up with a live Q&A. I would like to now introduce our awesome cats who facilitated today's virtual LTC for everyone. This day would not have been made possible without all your hard work. So thank you very, very much. Dayton Benway, Andrew Hatemonic, Deanna Gray, and Chris Johnson. They are ready to hear from you, everyone. So type your questions into the Q&A pod and we'll get this session started.
Well, good afternoon. Until we get a question, I guess we can just kind of get some feedback from you guys as to how everything went so far today. Dayton, any thoughts on our wonderful day so far and our words from Joe and everything else?
My screen sharing capabilities need improvement. We learned that in the last session. Not the one with Joe, but the other one. Other than that, we're starting to get questions. So
yeah, you want me to kick off some of those, Dayton?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we go with the first one. Is Dayton going to be on the show Deadliest Catch?
No, I am not going to be on the show Deadliest Catch. So one of the things I said when we went into our rooms, and you're going to say introduce yourself like the icebreaker we did. I worked on commercial fishing boats, lobstering and stuff like that when I was growing up in Maine. So that's probably where that's coming from. And no, I do not want to go in the Bering Sea. I'm happy right in Casco Bay in Maine, the Gulf of Maine. So.
All right, let's try this one. It's going to be wide open, so I can't wait to hear the answer. The question is, best advice you can give me. Who wants to tackle that?
Deanna, you're up.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm sitting here, the first thing that comes to mind is just have fun and realize this is a volunteer engagement and that everybody is here because they want to be here. So the collaboration is always better, the mindset is better and everybody has a common goal. As long as you're having fun and, understand that there's going to be reasonable setbacks and there's always all kinds of people to help you, whether it's at the local level, your regional executives, the association level, there's always somebody to help you if you have any concerns or frustrations. You'll get through it, and you'll have fun while you're doing it.
Andrew, you want to tag on?
Yeah, I'm going to go with kind of something that I teed up on in the first session this morning. Just surround yourself with good people. Not only have fun, which is important because this is a volunteer engagement and nobody's getting paid, but surround yourself with not only people that you know are going to work hard to do a good job. They will make you look smarter, but surround yourself with people that you actually like, because at the end of the day, as you go up the ranks, and everybody on this call is a president or a president-elect or has been through this path already before, it's a lot of time and effort. And so you might as well do it with people that you like.
Dayton, any thoughts?
I guess I'd add to that is be realistic in the goals that you set, because this year is going to fly, and we've got challenges that we're facing that no other president before you of a chapter has faced. So be realistic in what you're trying to get accomplished, and don't beat yourself up if you don't set the world on fire.
And
I also want to.
Go ahead.
I was just going to jump in to add, be inclusive. One of the things that I noticed going through the officer rotation, we get very comfortable with those that are surrounding us, that we've brought into the fold and whatnot. Don't forget that there are those that are wanting to get in, and we may not see them because they're quietly waiting to be asked. So, approach those that are being quiet, invite them to participate, and you'll never know, who you're going to uncover and mentor, and that's a whole different level of success that you can achieve.
Sure. So, Chris, if you don't mind addressing these couple questions about breakout sessions.
Yeah,
Tracy has said we are going to be doing more of these breakout sessions. I think that's something that, especially based on the feedback that we're getting today and in the last few weeks, that you're going to see more and more of those opportunities. I don't know if we'll be at the association level facilitating some of those regional conversations, but I certainly know that most of the regions have some access to Zoom in such a way that they could do something like this very simply themselves. So I would encourage you, and I don't want to speak for Tracy or anybody else as to exactly how we roll this out in the future, and she is going to speak to that. But I would also encourage you to do it at the regional level yourselves and encourage your REs to say, hey, we'd love to have these breakout sessions that are unique to our treasurers or our vice presidents or our president-elect.
Yeah, and we talked on our president-elect session that we will set up these virtual meetings with peers and allow, if we need to do those at a regional level, but we will be doing it as a whole for all the chapters. And we'll do that starting in July. And moving forward, we're going to ask the chapter advancement team to actually moderate some of those sessions with you. So if you have questions that maybe you don't have the answers to, this team can help you with those. Now they just realized that this is going to happen. Now I'm just joking. I already shared it with them, but I just wanted to, yes, we will be moving forward with that.
And to me, that's the positive results of experiencing something new and finding out it really works. And I imagine we're going to also experience a few of those new things and they don't work. So just be flexible and enjoy the ride, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and you're right. In the breakout sessions today, it was clear that more time would have been good. So obviously there's a lot that that the presidents and president-elects had on their mind that they want to talk about. So that'd be a great move. Okay. What was one of your biggest HFMA challenges as chapter president, and how did you deal with it?
I can start with that one. When I was I took over as president a year before I was supposed to, because the entire leadership group, except for me, all turned over the same year. They had, two of them had to back off for professional or personal reasons. The president left, and so it was just me. And so my biggest challenge was rebuilding a leadership team that had very little experience. And the way we did it, I ended up being president for 2 years in a row to accommodate all of that. And it took our chapter, I'd say probably 2 or 3 years to really come out of that much turnover all at once, because we lost so much institutional knowledge about the chapter. And what I did at that time was rely on past presidents. I actually made a kind of an advisory group out of I'd say 6 or 7 past presidents, and I relied on them heavily for information, and I called on them often to get different perspectives on how things were done in the past and what we ought to be thinking about going forward. So.
Okay. Andrew or Deanna, you want to add to that?
I long believe that, again, and I've had this same comment throughout multiple of our sessions, but succession planning in a chapter that is a smaller chapter can be a really challenging deal, even if you've got really good people like right around you in the 2 or 3 spots before or after you. That doesn't mean that you're good to go. In those smaller chapters, you've got a small number of people that are carrying a heavy amount of the load.
Yeah.
That could mean being president and still doing a lot of programming stuff, or at least assisting with it. And so the biggest thing that I see within my chapter, and what we're still continuing to work on to this day, is building that bench and finding those volunteers so that you can find other people to take on some of those challenges with you. One of the things that we do from a professional perspective, and I know many of you are also in dealing with this, in my own job, we're always talking about delegation, and sometimes it takes more time to teach people how to do something than it is to do it yourself. But if you don't make that investment now, they'll be asking you 2 years after you're president, right, to figure out how to help you with that. So the biggest thing is teach other people how to do it, so that you're not the only one carrying that particular burden.
Yeah, and I'll tag on to that. One of the things, we had a really strong year, and we have a tremendous group of volunteers. So we don't have as much problem with depth, although when we start something new, such as innovation in the area of the early careerist group, wow, that's a mouthful. We had, a go-getter that had us in front of the local colleges, and we were getting HFMA out beyond in the education realm, way beyond just healthcare providers. And this young talented woman left our chapter to move to California. She's coming back. We're excited about that. But at the time, we realized, okay, we've done all these great things, but we didn't do a great job of passing the torch and keeping up the relationships with those institutions to continue to get the word out. So I loved the focus on the Early Careers Committee. We had some engagement. We had a lot of emphasis on all generations. But because we, didn't invest in, the handoff, we kind of lost a lot of momentum in that particular area. So I agree with you, Andrew.
Okay. So, Tracy, your gentleman has helped us with the next one. So, or maybe not, but can you tell us about the shifting of the Yerger Awards?
Yeah, so the Regional Executive Council in November built new awards for awards of excellence, and then also some best of awards. So best in education, best in membership, best in, and kind of more like Oscar style, but those will be applications similar to what the Yerger was, and they sunset the Yerger as of May 31st, 2020. So the focus from the Yerger, the application will be similar to what these Oscar style best of, presentations. The regional executives will be the voters, or the judges on the applications that come in. And then the top 5 in each category will be doing videos for those. And then your peers will get to vote on what is the best of, and those will be announced live during the Boston HFMA annual conference, which is our 75th anniversary as well. So it'll be a new opportunity for us to celebrate awards, but the Yerger will, it is sunset as of May 31st.
I have a question, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Is the video submission required?
On the top 5, yes.
Okay. That'll be new for some chapters for sure.
Yeah.
The whole concept of a video.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, we're going to have some criteria. It's going to be less than a minute. It's not going to be like a 5-minute, professionally made video. A lot can be done by your cell phone, and we'll give the props of how to manage that video, because it's not intended to make it hard, but just to share some fun around the concept of if it was innovative, if it took a team of 30 people to get something pulled together, if it was a community project and you want to that's why we want to announce it now, because if you have something that you're building off of, start taking some snippets so you can kind of put that together with your application.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, our next one, again, not so much a question, I think it's a statement, but the world is on fire. I would like to put the fire out. Not sure how to answer that question. You guys may chime in. I would share on that one. I guess my answer to that would be the same message I sent to my team this morning on some things we're doing at Atrium Health to address the fact that it does feel like the world is on fire. Is I don't think change is going to happen unless every single person gets involved. I think you have to figure what your role is, because I think there's a role we're all going to play. But I think what we can't do is do nothing. So I would propose figure out where you fit or where you think you can do the most good and insert yourself there. Others want to comment? Again, I don't know if that's so much a question as a statement, quite honestly. Okay. Is there anything that we should be doing to be prepared for the fall president's meeting, and what happens there anyways?
You're muted, Dayton.
Yeah, I lost you.
I'm glad we didn't hear whatever word just came out of your mouth.
They were none of them were. They was all good words. So that was the most intelligent thing I've said all day. I can't believe I was muted. So what happens at fall presidents? We can't really share that with you. That's a big secret. It's there's a swearing in ceremony and other top secret things. But honestly, Fall President's Meeting has always been a great time for regions to get together, and it's where a lot of the regional planning is done. It's, from my perspective, as I was coming through my leadership, it's where I got to know the other presidents and the other members of, in the leadership ranks of within my region, and I'm still friends with them today. And you form a lot of great friendships there. Having in the past, now that we've come together for a few years in one location, I think it's been great because it's you get to experience a much larger sense of that. But then you go back to your smaller groups, right? And you can still have all the planning meetings. You learn a ton from each other in those meetings, and it really sets the tone. It takes what happens at LTC, refines it, and really sets the tone for the rest of the year.
Others want to chime in? Andrew, Dina?
It is always a good time.
Okay.
And I do think that part of the benefit of being able to get together on a regular basis is continuing to develop those relationships. I will echo Dayton in the fact that I still have friends that I didn't really know well or at all before, especially within my region, but not just. That where those relationships were even further developed over karaoke at the hotel bar, or like you name it, just dumb stuff that doesn't even matter, but we got to spend time together and hang out, and it was a great opportunity.
One thing I'd like to also add, when you're networking with your peers in your region or beyond, you have the opportunity to opt into their communications. So you're receiving programming notices, all kinds of information that you may be able to duplicate or replicate in your own chapter, and you know who to ask questions. So one example, Cindy Fisher, I saw her face this morning. She's a regional executive in Region 8. One of the things I remember her for, and she was in a completely different state, far away, and I didn't get to see her very often, but she was one of the best communicators out there as far as upcoming educational events. So I tried to emulate, when I went through programming after her, I tried to emulate her style and some of the things that she did. So make sure that you're on different distribution lists, that you're getting all of those communications. I know everybody has enough in your inbox, but leverage My Community and all the resources that the association provides to you to stay connected to your peers, so you can leverage those things.
Okay. Interesting. Did any of you have a mentoring program or student or young professionals program, or have you seen one? Also, on that vein, if so, how did they handle scholarships?
At the time that I was a chapter leader, and while I was a regional executive, we didn't have a mentoring or a young professionals program. Since that time, I know the chapters in my region have developed one, but I didn't work through it personally.
I will tell you something similar. So we used to have one in Oklahoma quite a while ago. But by the time I became, and this is back when, so our chapter won the Shelton, and I want to say it was 2006. And they had a program in place like that back then, but it is not currently in place. And I know that there are questions exactly about scholarships and different ramifications that I am not qualified to speak on, so I won't. But there are some hurdles around that process too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can say that we've had some success collaborating with local community colleges and the local MHA program. So we would allow 5 or so attendees free to come to our quarterly events. Again, the student memberships were at a reduced rate with the association, so we kept those folks still coming to the meeting, even though they may have not chosen to spend the money otherwise by offering free events. Mm-hmm. So we did stay connected. We did have them on distribution lists with the idea of hopefully keeping them engaged when they were done with their educational program, and also providing opportunities for, perhaps informal internships. So we did have some students that did work for hospitals or went to hospitals to meet internship needs. So we had a little bit of success with that. I think that's fallen back a little bit due to leadership changes at the educational institutions, but it did work well at the time that we were running that program.
I would suggest whoever asked the question, or if you're someone within the audience who's got that same question or you want more information about it, I'd reach out to the chapter relations team. They're going to have their hand on the pulse of which chapters are doing that really well.
Yeah.
Probably with a little bit greater detail than the three of us or four of us are able to shed any light on at this point. So I would reach out to them. And what I've seen in the past is the chapters are very willing to share information around mentoring and other scholarship-like programs. So I'd recommend that.
Okay, next question. Will CRCR certifications count toward our goals this year? Again, Tracy or Deanna, you want to weigh in on that one?
We got a 50-50 shot at answering correctly.
Yeah, let's not guess. So CRCR certification does not count towards the goal for the awards. They are included on the chapter portal, so you can see what your percentage is for CRCR within your chapter. However, it's not included yet. And I say yet because we have more data now around the members that are certified compared to a lot of the non-members can also have that certification. So that is something the council will be looking at again when we look at metrics for 21-22.
So Tracy, in that vein, we want to just go to the next question. I'm sure we're going to need help with this. When will the new criteria around the Shelton be announced?
That actually has been updated in the policy on the Shelton on the website. So if you go to the awards section of the Chapter Resource Center, the information has been updated in the policy. And now that I say that, I'll go look and make sure it is. But can you give us till Monday to make sure that that policy has been updated? But it will be out there for the policy. There's nothing that it's been completed. The task force completed that back in March of 2020.
Okay. If we have to move some of our education events to virtual, are there some guidelines and instructions on how to create a Facebook Live event with just attendees that are registered, especially since this is free?
Yes. Do you guys know the answer?
I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just join you guys. So the Facebook Live actually is a part of Zoom. So if you use Zoom or if you use WebEx, the way that you stream to the individuals that are registered are through that same connection, through the Zoom connection, and then you activate the live Facebook streaming or the live YouTube streaming. It depends on what channel you're trying to accommodate. And I would click on something, but then I'm going to get in trouble to tell you what the other one is. But there's 3 different live streaming that you can use through Zoom, and I know WebEx supports the same thing. So it's not just broadcasted to everyone in your Facebook community.
Okay, I think this is the most important question that I've read so far. What are the hockey pictures about in Dayton's office? Squirrel moment, but I'm curious.
Dayton's a hockey freak. It's just the way it is.
So they are pictures of my son when he's since graduated from high school, but he played. The ones right behind me here are him playing in high school, and then the one up on the wall is the famous Bobby Orr flying picture when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup.
Well, there you go. Okay. Okay. When will the 2019-2020 Yergers be announced?
They have been, to my knowledge, haven't they? They were released a couple of days ago.
The Leadership Connection Community Group list, yes. Brianna's posting it to update the chat right now.
Perfect.
Okay.
Look there, so tell you right where to go.
I thought they had, actually, because we were aware. But okay. Can we tell our members that we won?
Yes.
Assume the answer to that's yes. Okay.
Excellent. And I'm pretty sure, Chris, that the question about when do we have to submit this, I'm pretty sure that came in when they were talking about the awards that were going to happen in 2021. Okay. So I don't know what the deadline is. It's most likely February-ish of 2021, and I wouldn't guess, but I imagine we don't even have the dates named yet, Tracy, with respect to the awards of excellence that are going to be replacing the Yergers. Is that
We will
correct?
get that, yeah, we will get that posted in the community. We will be posting information around awards regarding the virtual celebration and different things like that. We'll include the date that the new awards are due. I don't have that off the top of my head, and I'm not allowed to click buttons when we're doing these things. So
And Brianna has posted that in the chat. So you
Awesome,
can
thank
go and click at the link to the Chapter Resource Center where the awards are posted for more information on that.
And thanks, Andrew, because I was really trying to figure out where that question tied back to. So I
I
appreciate
still
the
could be
help.
wrong, but that I think is when they asked the question. So I think that's what they're referring to.
Because I was, thank you. I was lost there for a minute. Okay. That's, can we recognize the hard work Tracy and her team has done? They are rock stars. Yes, I think absolutely. We can and we should.
We don't say it enough, and I feel like we say it on every webinar, which just recognizes the fact that we haven't done it enough still. So
Yes.
well, thank
bravo,
you.
ladies. Thank you.
Great job. Absolutely great job. I mean, you guys got to look at what Tracy and her team have to work with from the CAT team, and you would pray for them daily. So, I mean, you know, what can I say?
And that's just Pete, and he's not even here.
So I'm learning. Tracy, those are all the questions.
Yeah. So I want to thank all of you because, you know, taking the time out of Friday to join us today is awesome, and we really appreciate it. We will be in contact regarding the virtual events that the chapter advancement team will host for different specific roles, and we'll get that out in a communication by next week. But thank you for leading today and making everything spectacular and sharing all your experiences as volunteers, because it really does make a difference. Knowing that you're not alone out in the chapters, the chapter advancement team is available for any facilitation, virtual, or some are going live in August and September. So if you have any needs and just need somebody to bounce some things off of, this team is exceptional and available. So thank you to all of you. So that concludes our day. Well, I think we had something else come in.
Yeah. You want to read that one out loud,
Oh no,
Tracy?
I think we're good. It was about President Cruises. So, you know, back in the day that would have happened, but not now with COVID. I think we're good.
I don't think the cruise thing should happen anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave that alone.
So I will say something though. The virtual fall presidents meeting Joe mentioned will be the same time frame. That is accurate. We are going to keep the same days, and it will look different, obviously, but we will have rooms available for all the regions. And then we will have a general session, you know, area where we can collaborate still. We will have CAT-like facilitations that we've had in the past, and talking about collaboration and sharing these virtual experiences. And hopefully by then we'll even know more. We have the annual conference next week, as Joe mentioned, so we're learning rapidly, but you know, we're willing to share. And if you have any questions and you can't find something, I think Jenna's favorite saying is, if it takes you longer than 20 seconds, call us, because there is no reason to get frustrated. We can help you in minutes or seconds, and there eliminates the frustration. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your chapter advancement team. They are amazing. And if you guys want to come on, I would like to thank all of you too. So I know they love to share their videos. So, you know,
except for that ugly blue and red that Jenna is wearing today.
Come on. Oh, there it is.
So thank you.
Oh, well, you can see my hats.
So thank you, Jenna, Brianna, and
Right
Erica.
there with you, Jenna.
Yes. So, oh dear goodness, you don't need to help. You don't need to feed. You don't need to feed the fire there, Deanna. So,
Tracy, you missed the question about whether the Blues were going to keep the Stanley Cup this year. I answered it by saying, "Who cares? It's hockey."
No. So yes, because last I heard they beat the Bruins, right? I'm almost positive that's what happened. I'm sure that's still too soon to talk about.
Too
So
soon to talk about. We're not talking about that.
I will leave it there. But you know, thank you, Andrew. I didn't see that come through.
Well, I know there's been some comments to thank the chapter relations team, and you know, the behind the scenes piece that nobody gets to see is that they put our decks together. They put, you know, a lot of the talking points together for us. So, well, as cats, we get to get on screen and you know, share knowledge and talk with you guys. it would be impossible without these four ladies helping us behind the scenes. They are the reason that we can do this with any shred of professionalism. So thank you guys very much for everything you do to make us look as good as we do.
That's right.
Thank
Some
you.
days are harder than others, but today you guys rocked it out and hit one out of the ballpark. So thank you. So no, we really appreciate it. We have a great team, and we are happy to help, but we are still learning too. So thank you for your patience during all of this time. Oh dear goodness, Andrew, you had to take out that hat.
You bunch of cheaters.
Oh dear
Yep,
goodness.
cheater.
All
Don't
right.
turn on your
I can
teams.
keep going. I
Don't
can
turn
put the
on your
jersey on
teams.
too, Trace, if you like.
Love it, Deanna.
Oh, I don't even have any. I have this is the one thing I carried downstairs with me today. That's the only thing, just because it makes me smile. So, you know,
Yes.
I had to go
That's
downstairs
great.
to be connected to my hard line today. So all good. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and happy Father's Day to everybody who's out there that gets to celebrate having all those lovely children. So happy Father's Day and enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.